Well, good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Tom Allen. Well, it was quite a hectic scene last night at the Harford Fair in Pennsylvania after 4 bulls got loose, with one of them out of control. Today, things appeared to be back to normal at the fair, but that wasn't the case last night. Organizers say that as they were loading the rodeo bulls onto the trailer, 4 of them got loose. They were able to capture 3 of them immediately. However, one of them was running wild for a short period of time, causing chaos with people running for cover trying to get out of its path. But before it was over, several people were injured.
There were 10 people taken by ambulance from to the hospital from here, 1 by helicopter. We are unsure of injuries at this point, whether they're serious or not. We are unsure. Thoughts and prayers go out from the Harford Fair family to the families of those who were injured. It was an incident that we are looking into. The Pennsylvania State Police are investigating. We're going to do an investigation.
Kowalewski said it happened as the night was winding down and the people who were still on the grounds were evacuated after the incident. Well, a motorcycle accident has taken the life of a Binghamton man. State police say it happened on Quaker Lake Road and Hall Layton Road around 10:30 last night. 31-year-old David Black lost control of his cycle while making a left-hand turn, hit a guardrail, and was thrown from his bike. He was taken to Wilson Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead. Well, it was an absolute beautiful summer day out there. Meteorologist Kate Thornton is over at the Weather Center.
Hi, Tom. Hi, everyone. Yeah, we saw not exactly sunny skies, but hey, dry skies for most of us. There were a few isolated pop-up showers. Most of them were made off to the east and even down southeast near around the Scranton area. There's still some few blips of green being picked up by the radar right now, but mostly we are staying dry, and that will be the case throughout the rest of the night for tonight. Now, tomorrow, pretty much the same deal. We will, have the very, very slight chance of a shower. I think, again, mostly that will be off to our south and east, but hey, we have to have that in there. Temperatures right now, we are at 70 degrees in Binghamton, 74 in Green, Sydney, 69 degrees, and heading out west to Ithaca, 70, 71 up in Cortland, Newark Valley, 72 degrees. So another quiet and mild night for tonight, and hey, it was a hot one yet today, and will be again for tomorrow. We'll talk more about that coming right up. Back to you, Tom.
All right, sounds good, Kate. Well, he was killed by a drunk driver almost 30 years ago, but his memory still lives on. Today was the first day of the 29th annual Chris Thader Memorial Bike Race and Run. Fox 40's Samantha McDonald has more.
Kate is a fighter. Living with asthma since age 7 has not stopped her from becoming a professional cyclist.
It's pretty incredible. I don't think my parents would have ever imagined that I'd be able to compete on a professional level in any kind of sport, given the severity of my asthma as a child.
Today, Kate competed in a women's professional 35-mile race in Recreation Park as a part of the 29th annual Chris Thader Memorial event.
Our overall message is, our goal is to demonstrate that people with asthma can compete at this level.
Hundreds of cyclists and thousands of spectators come to the weekend-long event for the pro, elite, and novice biking and running races, dedicated in memory of Chris Thader, an avid cyclist who was killed by a drunk driver.
Public awareness events like this, keep it on the forefront of everyone's mind, and hopefully it causes people to think before they drink and drive.
People came from all over the world to compete, have fun, and support the cause, including Wayne Henry, who came from Canada.
As a cyclist, we have that camaraderie. Regardless if you don't know you or not, we hear of it. It's always sad. So I'm here to support that. I'm here to meet some of my friends that come here every year, and I came particularly today to ride the race. Officials say the biggest draw of the weekend will be tomorrow's 5K race at 10 a.m. And then the main cycling event will be the men's pro race at 11:30. In Binghamton, I'm Samantha McDonald, Fox 40 News.
Well, when you look back to last year's flood, do you ask yourself what you could have done to be better prepared? Well, today the Southern Tier chapter of the American Red Cross held its first annual Disaster Readiness Fair in Endicott. The whole idea was to teach families, kids, and communities how to be better prepared so they're not caught off guard in the event of an emergency. Organizers say it may take some time planning it, but it pays off in the long run.
One of the activities we're doing is called Build a Kit, and we help you to really stop and think about, okay, if I need to leave the house, Where are all my family? How do I get a hold of them? Do I have the medications that I need if I need to leave? If I have pets, what do I do with the pets? I can't just leave them in the home. What is the plan for them? What is our evacuation plan?
The fire department was also on hand giving demonstrations on how to evacuate in case of a fire, and the Broome County Sheriff's Office was issuing child identification cards. Well, it was the perfect day for kids to get out and enjoy themselves at a festival being held at the Boys and Girls Club on Clinton Street. They were raising money to purchase new playground equipment for Sunflower Park on Murray Street. There were plenty of games for the kids to take part in and a magician to keep them entertained. There was also plenty of food to go around and several vendors selling their goods. Organizers say it was an opportunity for the community to come out and have fun for the day. Ahead on Fox 40 News at 10, Hurricane Isaac is getting closer to the States. We'll tell you where it's headed. Plus, the first man to walk on the moon passes away. Tropical storm Isaac made its way over eastern Cuba today. Forecasters are predicting the storm will strengthen into a hurricane sometime tomorrow, with its sights set on the U.S. Gulf Coast. Patrick Ottman has an update on Isaac from Havana.
Tropical storm Isaac brought intense winds and rains to Cuba on Saturday, but for the most part just skirted the coastline of the country, and very little major damage was reported. In the eastern end of the island, where Isaac briefly made landfall, there were some reports of evacuation. Several hundred people in the town of Baracoa had to be evacuated, and there was some report of storm surge. But here in Havana, what we saw throughout the day, fishermen taking their boats out of the water, people taking their cars to higher ground to avoid flooding. There was really very little damage, and for Cubans who have suffered for the last several years from intense hurricanes, they really felt like they had missed something of a bullet. By the afternoon, people are out on the Havana seafront, taking in the breeze in what's usually a brutally hot month here. Cuban officials said that they had been prepared for a much stronger storm and were somewhat relieved that Isaac was staying off the shore. So far, a bullet that was missed here. But as Isaac makes its way into the warmer Straits of Florida, it's expected to intensify as it heads towards Florida. Patrick Ottman, CNN, Havana.
Well, Tropical Storm Isaac has derailed plans for the start of the Republican National Convention. It will convene Monday in Tampa, Florida as scheduled, but will immediately go into recess until Tuesday afternoon. Republican Party leaders believe that the worst of Isaac will have passed by then. Isaac is expected to be west of Tampa in the Gulf of Mexico early Monday morning. About 50,000 people are scheduled to attend the convention, where Mitt Romney will officially accept his party's presidential nomination. Well, former astronaut Neil Armstrong has died. In a statement released today, his family says the 82-year-old passed away after complications from heart surgery. Armstrong was the first man to walk on the moon on July 20th, 1969. This is NASA video of that historic occasion. He and fellow astronauts Buzz Aldrin and Michael Collins blasted off in Apollo 11 on a nearly 250,000-mile journey to the moon. After stepping onto the lunar surface, he spoke the now famous phrase, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Armstrong largely avoided the public spotlight after his legendary career, leading a quiet, private life with his wife and children. But he always recognized the importance of what he had accomplished. Well, Mitt Romney insists he'll work to grow the middle class and says his tax reform plan will help entrepreneurs. Fox Business correspondent Peter Barnes has all the details in the Small Business Report.
Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney took a break from the campaign trail for an exclusive interview on Fox Business. Romney talked taxes, the economy, and small business and said he favors tax reform that will help entrepreneurs.
I'm not looking for high-income people to pay a lower share of the total tax burden in the country. At the same time, I'm going to make sure that middle-income families don't pay more in taxes and that middle-income families do not pay a higher share of the tax burden in the country. I'm looking instead to lower tax rates and limit deductions and exemptions in such a way that we have enterprises, small businesses able to keep more of their capital and at the same time simplify the code.
At a private fundraising event following our interview, Romney said he's going to champion small business because big business is doing fine in many places. He said of big companies, quote, "They get the loans they need. They can deal with all the regulation. They know how to find ways to get through the tax code, save money by putting various things in the places where there are low tax havens around the world for their businesses. But small business is getting crushed." That's it for this edition of the Small Business Report. I'm Peter Barnes, Fox Business Network.
Well, it was a great day for the race over at Rec Park, but will the summer weather continue? Kate is over at the Weather Center.
Here's a look at our temperature trend for tomorrow. For the morning, about 64 degrees to start things off, and 10 a.m. is where the 5K race starts off. 73 degrees and warming up to about 84. I'll have more in the forecast coming right up. Well, good evening and welcome back. And a rather warm day today. We were at 83 degrees here in Binghamton, the real hot spot. Look at that, 90 degrees in Syracuse, 108 in Poughkeepsie. Don't worry about that. I checked that earlier. It did not get that high. It only got to about 86 down there, but 87 up in Albany. New York City hit 84 degrees, so Pretty warm, but hey, we'll take it because it's summer and we only got a couple more weeks left before most of us have to go back to work or go back to school and all that. Current temperatures right now, we're sitting at 71 in Binghamton, 69 in Ithaca, Syracuse. Still pretty warm up there, 79 degrees. And what's nice is because we do have a nice layer of clouds over us, and that will keep any heat that we did get today kind of locked in. So the temperature's not falling off all too much, maybe about another 10 degrees or so. Let's take a quick look at Tropical Storm Isaac. Still a tropical storm. Winds right now at 60 miles per hour when it should possibly get up to hurricane status, which means 74 miles per hour by later on this weekend. About 375 miles east-southeast of Key West and moving northwest at 20 miles per hour. So here's the projected path. We do have this area of high pressure, this Bermuda high, and that is what's steering each day that the National Hurricane Center is putting out their projection. It's a little bit further west each time. So right now it does look like it'll make landfall by Tuesday, the far reaches of the Florida Panhandle and going into Alabama and by Mississippi. And by then it could be possibly Category 2 status, which means anywhere from about 100 miles per hour. That's sustained wind. That's just not gusts. That's sustained wind. So some pretty powerful stuff with that, especially once it gets over those warmer waters over the Gulf of Mexico, and that will really help fuel Tropical Storm Isaac into possibly a hurricane status. Don't have to worry about him right now. We're looking at some clouds over our sky right now. Some still pop-up showers going on mostly down to northeast Pennsylvania and the lower Hudson Valley. Otherwise, not too shabby. This area of low pressure is what's giving us those clouds tonight. And for tomorrow as well, not expecting a bright sunny day for tomorrow. Still some clouds mixing in. Again, the chance of an isolated shower will be there for tomorrow, but mostly down to our southern region, say northern Pennsylvania, right along the northern tier. And pretty much it will be okay for tomorrow. Most of us will remain dry. It'll be later on Monday when we see this cold front. That's when we will have the increased risk of some showers and some thunderstorms. So let's break it down for you hour by hour. For tonight, temperatures, again, getting down into about the lower 60s. Not a bad night. Mild, dry, should be pretty nice. Those clouds will build back in for tomorrow. Temperatures getting back up into the 80s. If you're going up to the fair, back up to the upper 80s up there, up in Syracuse. Again, the spotty showers popping up mostly just to our south over in northern Pennsylvania. Clouds build back in for Monday. We'll start to see the increase of some showers and thunderstorms once again by Monday afternoon ahead of this cold front. This cold front should be passing us by later on Tuesday. And behind that, some cooler air. Not too bad. So for tonight, otherwise a mostly cloudy day, or cloudy night, I should say, quiet and mild. Low of about 60 degrees. For tomorrow, overall not a bad day. A nice summer day. I think we will see a nice mix of sun and clouds, but mostly in the way of clouds, I think. Warm and still a tad on the humid side. We've been getting away fairly nice for the last couple of days. As far as those dew points go, well, those dew points will start getting into that mid-60 range, and it'll feel a little sticky out there. So overall, not too bad. Again, chance of an isolated shower, mostly to our south. 83 degrees, and then for the rest of the week, your 5-day forecast, again, Monday, Tuesday, better chance of seeing some showers and some thunderstorms associated with that cold front, but then look behind it. We are seeing some cooler temperatures in about the mid-70s and sunny skies, and who doesn't love that? All right, Tom, back to you.
All right, Kate, well, it feels like fall is in the air. Well, coming up next in sports, we hit the road once again for the Fox 40 High School Football Tour. Travis has a look at both Waverly and Windsor tonight. Stay tuned.
A week from now, we'll be just about finished up with week 1. A week from now, we'll be just about finished up with week 1 of the high school football season. But just like many of the teams, we here at Fox 40 are gearing up as we kick it into 2-a-days tonight for our high school football tour. And we start the evening with Waverly. The Wolverines had a breakout season a year ago, getting all the way to the state semis before their run towards the Carrier Dome ended. This season, though, their core of talent returns, including quarterback and safety Zach Cooney and running back Dylan Gutierrez. Both were keys in Waverly's run to the state semis a year ago. Experienced coach Jason Miller believes will be beneficial this regular season.
We did play in some big games, and I think the pressure of playing in big games will ultimately carry over. You know, every game you play in is big, but you know, you get to a do-or-die situation. There's no greater pressure than that, and we were fortunate to play 3 games and win 3 games in that situation. That helps you in the long run.
Waverly kicks off its season against Athens from Pennsylvania before facing the next team we're going to look at, and that would be Windsor. As we head back closer to Binghamton, the Black Knights went winless a season ago, but hope to turn the corner this year. If they do, it won't be because of their size, though. Instead, it'll be because of their speed. The team says off-season conditioning has the Black Knights in better shape than last season, and they hope that translates into some results come next week.
We have a little bit more speed than we have in the past, so they're a little excited about having a little bit more speed. We don't have the size that we have in the past. Ben's probably the biggest guy on our whole team, and he's a defensive end, tight end. So we don't have big tackles or anything, but maybe we can make up for it with the speed.
It won't be easy for the Black Knights off the bat, though, as they kick things off with Owego before facing Section 4 champ Waverly. And unlike those high school football players, John Jones will not be in action next weekend. After taking plenty of heat for UFC 151 being canceled next weekend, Bones spoke out via his Twitter account this afternoon, apologizing to fans and fighters alike. The series of tweets reads, quote, "Carrying the cross for my company's decision. If someone has to take the blame, I will accept full responsibility for the way UFC 151 was canceled. I want to sincerely apologize to all other athletes and fans whose time and money was wasted. I feel terrible at the way it was handled." Jones will now instead be fighting on September 22nd in Toronto in UFC 152. Now we go to baseball. The Flushing Meadows R.A. Dickey on the mound as the Mets host the Astros in the 4th. No score, and Dickey's doing it with his bat. The swinging bunt works every time. Good enough to get the run in from third, and it's 1-0. 2 innings later, Justin Turner scoring runs a little more familiar way. He goes up and out, and he puts the Mets on top 2-0. After the Astros split it in half, the Mets adding on some insurance. Jason Bay with the RBI base hit. And that holds up for your final. The Mets take this one 3-1. Checking in with the Double-A Mets on the road in Portland, and the B-Mets take down the Sea Dogs 5-1 this evening. Darren Gorski goes 7 2/3, giving up just 1 run and striking out 9 in the process. Binghamton continues its series with Portland tomorrow afternoon. And finally, how about the little guys? Little League World Series U.S. Championship, bottom of the 6th. California's Hans Smith ties it at 15. It caps a 10-run inning for California, but in the 7th, Tennessee strikes right back big time. Jason Brown goes deep to left, and Tennessee holds on and takes the lead 24-16. They'll face Japan in the championship game tomorrow. And one final baseball note for you. The Yankees fall 3-1 to Cleveland. That's going to do it for sports. We'll be back right after this.
So, Kate, do you think we're going to feel anything from the effects of the tropical storm/hurricane?
You know, I've been keeping an eye on it because we all know what happened about a year ago, a tropical storm. I have been keeping that. The latest model that came out about an hour and a half ago has everything fizzling out by this time next week. So it's good. I've been keeping an eye on it to make sure that we will stay safe, and we'll keep, again, I'm going to watch it because, hey, these things, they change every day. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. If we do see anything, it won't be for another week. But again, fingers crossed that we won't see anything from this. So far, the rest of the week looks pretty good. An isolated chance of a shower tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday. Some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Wednesday, Thursday just looks absolutely beautiful. I'm loving it.
All right. Well, that sounds good. Well, that's all we have time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a good night.